Brinkman, do you realize how amazing it's going to be able to actually talk on our own podcast?
Oh, my gosh. I haven't used words with anybody in 3 days saving up my vocal cords for this.
Live from the Justin Livestream Network studios, Scrib and Gibb.
No Scrib, though. Which is going to be...
Scrib and Brink.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Brink and Gibb.
I think it's just going to be a little bit, so for folks that are listening to this on a podcast, so they can't see this on YouTube, yes, Scribner's not here.
This is nice.
It's not like he's just waiting to talk.
No, and Dad's gone. I feel like when on K-Fan in the morning show, when Corey Cove, the crabby one's gone, they all say, Dad's gone.
Yeah,
Dad's gone.
He is the crabby one on that show.
Oh, absolutely he is.
Negative Nelly.
Well, we got a lot to cover, Brinky.
Buddy, we kind of got a postmortem we have to do on the sports season, but you know what? I think that's going to be our Cedar Lake Speedway race to the finish.
Ball game over, folks. Sorry, it's and it was across the board.
But I think that the Cedar Lake Speedway race to the finish has to be fall sports in Richmond. What happened this last week? Well, actually, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it seemed to come to an end. So let's dive into it. Let's do this. Let's dive into it and start from the beginning. Let's start with Thursday, volleyball.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't at the game, but we did watch it. But the girls ran into, I guess, a buzzsaw is the best way to say it. River Falls was without their big outside hitter, and so I think that was, we did obviously face them earlier in the year and lost in 3 sets. So we thought without their big outside hitter, I thought the New Richmond was going to give them a spark. I think it did give us a spark. But, in all great programs, they rise to the occasion, right? And I think other folks stepped up, and that program, I'm going to take your hat off. I mean, River Falls has a heck of a program, so that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it to River Falls, give them the credit.
Are you going to shed a tear because of this music playing in the background?
What the heck? Did I nail it for the talk that we have? The memories of these places.
A little bit, Moosey. A little bit. A little bit.
Listen, I talked about it last week. Yep, disappointing. Disappointing that the Nerds. But I'm not disappointed with how they even played against River Falls. I'm disappointed that this season had to come to an end to them because I think what an amazing turnaround for Richmond volleyball has been the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And last year you saw them begin to crawl, and it's almost like they came out of the gates this year jogging, and by golly, they're almost up to sprinter speed. I mean, it's something to behold.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, you look back at the beginning, we called them the cardiac kids. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, you go up to that Osceola game, we were down by 8, I think, at one of those sets, came back, ended up sweeping Osceola, and I believe, at least for sure, in 2 of those sets, we were down by at least 6, and I think one by 8. And we just kind of found ourselves doing that for a little bit. But the big thing that we kept telling ourselves was that these girls, they're resilient, and they have confidence, and they know that they can win, which has been different than in years past, I would say even in the previous year. So I think seeing that growth throughout the year was awesome. And the fact that, the girls, we'll get into the record here in a second, but just knowing that they can win and that they can compete. And again, you got to take your hats off. River Falls had a program for 20-plus years. New Richmond is in its infancy right now, Brink.
No, absolutely. But the strides that, I use it, I've said it to people this way. Earlier in the season, they lost to Chippewa Falls. Mm-hmm. By the regional in 3, got swept by the regional finals. Richmond swept Chippewa Falls. So exactly. I mean, those are all such positive things to take out of this season that it was fun to watch. It was fun to get to be a part of. Obviously, I got to announce a couple games. If you would have told me in July of this year that I would enjoy spending time in the gymnasium during a fall sport, I would have been like, yeah, you're nuts. But I had a lot of fun, and obviously, I get to know the girls a little bit and stuff like that. Unbelievable season. I said it last week, and I'm going to stick with it. I think it's the story of the fall for Richmond sports is the leaps that, and not just steps, Moose. the leaps that the girls volleyball program took this year.
The thing that I think, in high school sports, you always get a class that comes through, right? That is really good, a class that, can propel a volleyball program or whatever for a year or two and make them look really good. I think what Juliana has going on is the opposite of that, and she's building a program.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to put it.
We're bringing, look what we've done in 2 years with her at the helm. We're still having to cut girls for volleyball. The numbers are there. The numbers are growing. And, we're bringing in a team that we lose a couple seniors, but we're reloading with, but we started, freshmen and sophomores this year. So I think it's a program that is being built, and it's fun to watch that happen.
Yeah, and you look at some of the seniors that were on the squad that weren't on the court as much as they wanted to, right? And that's a tough thing to do. And I got to give them a lot of credit. I think it's very difficult. I think of, Sammy Morrissey right off the top of my head, right? Starts 2 years this year. They ran a completely different offense to some degree, so they only had one setter. It was between her and Maddie, and Maddie ended up getting the starting role. Now, Sammy could have quit. She could have buried her hand in the sand. Worse than that, she could have been a terrible teammate, but she wasn't. And I think, again, that just goes to show the character of the kids. They see a bigger picture. And I think the things that the seniors did this year, you could say they had one senior starter, 2 juniors, and 2 sophomores and a freshman. But what those seniors did for this program and the longevity of it and taking those steps in the right direction, and that's the thing, right, Brinkman, is that when you're playing good competition in practice, that makes you that much better when you go into competition because the speed of the game isn't so much different. So there's so much credit to the folks that weren't on, the spotlight, so to speak, all the time, but how they also helped this program propel forward and just set the tone about it's not about you, it's about the program, and you do what's right for everybody. And I think that speaks volumes to the program and probably more volumes to the kids, especially high school kids, because I know that it's not easy.
Well, especially high school girls. Absolutely. So what?
Sorry, that's what. But just like
a little bit more emotional is what you're saying.
Nailed it.
Well, exactly.
Well.
But listen, girls' athletics is a different ballgame than boys' athletics.
Yeah.
I'll argue that till I'm blue, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying it is different,
right?
Yep. Absolutely. I had 4 stepdaughters that were after my son, and trust me, it's a different ballgame. But you mentioned the name Sammy Morrissey. She was also the first one to jump up after every point and scream and holler and do that stuff. So what do we lose? We lose 4 seniors?
We lost 5 seniors this year.
5 seniors. Yep. Okay, so we have 5 holes to fill. Obviously, Ashland's going to be the big one to fill. You don't replace an Ashland, in my opinion. You need to have 2 to 3 other players improve that much to help replace her. We're losing our libero then in
Jericho Munson. Yep, and we also have B in the back row as well, who got significant amount of playing time as well. So, there's definitely opportunities for some of the younger kids. When I say 2 seniors starting, Jericho would be a starter because a lot of times I always forget, like the libero comes in, sets the rotation, that type of stuff. So
just the weirdest thing ever.
Yep. So yes, Jericho is a starting libero. So so that position's wide open. There's defensive specialist positions wide open, some hitting positions that will be there. It's exciting, and I know there's a lot for the New Richmond Tigers here in the off season to step up. If we really do want to get to that River Falls level, girls are going to have to step up.
And I think they want to.
Oh, they do?
From what
I
I've
see
seen
that as well.
And I think that there's a coach there that's going to say, hey, why don't we try this? Why don't we do this? And I think good things will happen there. I think when we talked before this podcast, the vital system stat of the week, you know what it is, and I think that you should present that.
It is the Tigers finishing 26-9. So, absolute phenomenal year. Hats off to the girls. Congratulations. And again, it's so exciting to now be a program that folks are talking about in the community in a very positive way. The excitement's there. And now, like I said, now it's up to the girls to work hard in this off season and see what they can bring in 2026.
And just a quick photo we're putting up right now, something that's kind of neat that we, 2 years ago, we would have never probably guessed this.
Yes,
for
sure.
A million years. And I'm not trying to be rude by saying that. I'm just saying it.
It's the truth.
On a 1-win or 0-win season or whatever we have.
Yeah, we got the regional championship
here's
picture.
the regional championship picture. How cool is that just to see it?
That was the most fun I've ever had in a volleyball match in my life. I honestly, and I've not gone through 100 of them, but that was a good time.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Was it 3? Well, so Juliana's been here 2 years, so
Yep.
3. So was it 4 years ago that New Richmond won like 3 sets?
Yeah, it was not a good.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was.
no,
That's
yeah.
like a legitimate statistic of New Richmond volleyball, and now they go 26-9.
Right.
Dang, girls, that's awesome.
And just think, and somehow, and volleyball is a popular sport. We kept numbers even through that. Right.
It's amazing. Like
So-
Coco's graded so many. It was unbelievable.
So that's what I'm talking about is what, I mean, now we're looking at, now we have a winning record. Now we have a winning program.
Culture, yeah.
Now the culture is really starting and the competitiveness has to be more to get that spot because if you're not going to perform, there's another girl waiting right behind you
Absolutely.
that wants to try.
Yep.
And
It's a good spot.
another thing I'm going to say about this volleyball team, I talked to a couple of the assistant coaches, but they're all excited to come back next year if they're invited back by Juliana. I mean, normally by this time, high school coaches are like, "Okay, I'm going to take a couple weeks. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I want to think about this.
Yes, exactly. Before we get done with volleyball, somebody was at a match in the, I believe it was a sectional semifinals match between Osceola and St. Croix Falls. The third set, St. Croix Falls lost that, but they did go on to win 3-1. But that third set, the final score of it, 38-40.
Wow.
Osceola won
That's
40-38
That's a
over
whole
St.
nother
Croix Falls.
set.
Isn't that crazy when
Yeah.
you think about it?
That is unbelievable. Wow.
And when you look at it, like the whole St. Croix Falls and Osceola match, it's literally like, it's 2 points, 5 points, 2 points, and then the last one was 9 points. But
Yeah.
38-40, that's unbelievable to me. So, anything else on volleyball? Obviously, you're our volleyball expert.
Good luck. Good luck.
Loose
to Spa-
term.
Good
Loose
luck.
term,
Yeah,
but-
loose term on that. Yeah, good luck to Spash, who ended up beating Hudson and beating River Falls, which is amazing. I mean, we were
wow.
hoping for one of them to get through, right? Because pulling for the big rivers.
Yeah, of
But
course. We always
Spash ended up winning. Unfortunately, they did draw the 8 seed and drew the 3-time state champ right away in the first round. So hey. Now I'm a Spash fan, so we'll hopefully they can take down the number 1 seed and we'll make our conference look even better.
That's like a Brian Scribner stat of the week
It
brought
is.
to you by Vital Systems.
Yes, it could be.
Yeah, there's some good
Okay,
volleyball.
so we're
That's
going
what
to
I
do a
got.
little sports break here. Boys, what is behind you, by the way? What do we have going on?
Ooh. Well, it's just nice little Caribbean feel, right? I mean, in little Cape Coral, Florida.
There we go,
I
baby.
just got back for a week, and now Mr. Brinkman's going to head down there and do a little tomfoolery down there in Cape Coral. Huh?
So I got to tell you guys this quickly, but then we'll get back to the real business at hand here. Yes, I am going down to Cape Coral to Gibby's house. I've rented it for a week down there.
Bring your sunscreen, man.
Exactly. Anyways, I'm following that up with today. I had my 1-year cancer-free checkup.
Woo!
So I
We're
found out
celebrating
Yes.
that this morning I got to go and have my 1 year, where they look around in my bladder and everything came back as everything's going great. So I get to take the next 5 days heading down there with some high school buddies and their spouses, and we're gonna have some fun for the next couple days.
You are.
I'm
Nice.
excited. I really am. I was talking with Jason Wolf on Saturday at the soccer sectional final, and we realized that I don't have to do anything for the school until November 28th. So I have like a full 28 days off from announcing anything for the Richmond Athletics.
All right. Well, that was a great segue, by the way. So
was.
let's roll into high school soccer.
Let's do it. So Richmond, boy, I'll tell you what, they looked really good in the playoffs, and until last Saturday in the sectional final when they ran into a DeForest team. It didn't take you long to see the trees through DeForest because they are that good. In fact, they are so good, they ended up getting the number 1 seed in this week's tournament for
wow.
Division II.
Really?
So they are
And to
Moose, you gotta explain this one to me. They have a kid, okay, who is not skinny. I mean, he's not Scribner, but he's also not Brinkman fat. But I mean, built like you. But this kid is 6'6". He's got to be 6'6".
He's our defensive man, doesn't he?
Yeah, except on
corner kicks.
Yeah,
he comes all the way because they take their time. Yeah. They bring a defensive man from the basically 50-yard line pass, bring him all the way in front of the net, and they play him in front of the net because of his height.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you should see this kid run up and down the field. He is.
He's athletic. He's big. He's athletic.
You know how we feel with football. How you go into a game, and you're looking at their line, and they're like, "Yeah, it's as big as my refrigerator up there, right?" But not their whole team, but when Brinkman was doing the starting lineups, me and Melissa Chapman did the play-by-play. But when Brinkman was doing starting lineups, even Melissa, she's like, they're a team that's here. Like, they're just a big team, right?
Yeah.
And they all could outrun us like you wouldn't. Like, they would run circles around every one of us.
Wow.
And I mean, Richmond has some fast kids.
Yep.
This 6'6" kid was keeping up with our fastest kid.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. This, the kid's a junior. His name is Liam Schlomer. Schlemer.
Schlomer, right?
Yeah, Schloemer.
Oh,
but
sorry.
yeah, I mean, close enough. Anyways, this kid runs like a gazelle up and down the field. It's you could literally put him right in front of the net and still, I mean, if you're on offense, put him in front of the net and he will still find a way to get back defensively. I thought that in the very first 2 minutes into it, their stud, who had scored all 4 of their goals, I was told Thursday night in their sectional semifinal.
That number 3?
Wow.
Yeah, Errol Romas. He scored. DeForest controlled the game. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm going to tell you what. Never once did Richmond embarrass themselves out there. It's very interesting that the difference in how a game in the southern part of the state is called differently than up here.
Very true statement.
I've noticed that in hockey a lot too. In fact, I talked to a parent from DeForest after it. What the DeForest people told me is that they are amazed that the Richmond fans, whenever there was contact, were screaming for a foul, because in the southern part of the state, they're like it's just much more physical.
Rough.
So I equate that back to hockey. Okay, we've heard it for years. If you go south of 94, if you go east of Eau Claire, they all think that we play goon hockey over here because it's so much more of a physical game, because our game's officials are 90% Minnesota-style officials. Minnesota has the most physical style of hockey you're going to find in the U.S. So, but it's interesting that in soccer it's almost the exact opposite. I think DeForest is just they're that good. I mean, they controlled the game. Like I said, they scored 2 minutes and 37 seconds in. They scored their first goal. About 5 minutes left in the game, I think, is when they scored their second goal. New Richmond should be damn proud of the fight they put up against them, though. I'll tell you what, there wasn't a New Richmond kid where you went like, ugh, if he would have just did this, we could have did this. They left it out there on the field. They did New Richmond proud. And I haven't heard the exact numbers, but even Jason Wolf, when him and I were talking Saturday, he said to me, this crowd is very close to the same size as the football crowd we had here last night.
I think it was probably more than 100, but it was a good crowd.
Yeah, which is good because the weather was not nice.
The thing about it was an impressive soccer crowd, and it was cold and rainy on Friday night, so it was just I'm not trying to sound rude to fans because Justin Livestream helps fans stay in.
Right.
So I don't want to say unimpressive, but I get it, right? Like it's a cold, rainy night.
Let's go watch it on TV.
And it was Halloween, so anybody with a young kid probably wasn't coming to the game.
That's true. I didn't think about
you start
that.
just taking a few of those parents out that maybe would think about coming.
Well, no doubt. There's no doubt with their kids because a lot of them come watch the game.
So now
with
you're
kids.
taking a handful of kids out, or parents and kids out. Plus it's cold and rainy, so it's the fair weather fans are out.
I think what made it so close was that literally Oshkosh North on Friday night had 10 fans across the field in the small bleachers, and they might have had 30 fans in the main bleachers. Where DeForest, there was a lot of people that made the trip up from DeForest.
Good for them.
And I was so darn happy for them after years of us having to drive down there.
I didn't feel
How
bad,
great
right?
is that? So, anyways,
They're a very good team. They're the thing about the recap of the game, they scored real quick. And it was a tip, they're this Errol, whatever.
Errol Romas.
Again,
Romses.
he's not fat, but he in his
built like bull.
it built, and the kid could run, played defense really well, or but he was in the right place at the right time. Just got a quick foot on it, just like a tap, a tip, whatever you want to call it, that just deflected, right? And I don't know if it was like a bang, bang, bang play. If we looked at the replay a little bit, Melissa and I watched it, but New Richmond played tough. They didn't, like Andy said, they did not embarrass them. They didn't fall down on their face, and they played a 1-0 game until
5 minutes left.
minutes left.
It was
right
70, 74-47, I think, something like that. So
and the
75th
frustration
minute,
finally, I think, came out of New Richmond, and there was a little extra shove.
Yeah. I think
in the
that's safe
18, if I say this right, I hope Melissa listens because she teaches me the box is the 18.
Yeah.
And so inside the box there was a shove, and they got a penalty kick, and that's
Put it in.
unfortunate.
So we moving on in soccer, DeForest did get the number 1 seed in the Division 2. They will play. So DeForest, by the way, is 17-1-4 on the season. They will play Friday at 4:30 p.m. against the 4th seed Homestead, who's 9-14. Game 2 that night. It's
What you call coming on hot at the end of the year.
It's gotta
Wow.
count when you had to.
But anyways, at 7 p.m. that night, Whitefish Bay 13-3 against number 3 seeded Brookfield Central at 10-4-5. So the winner there will advance to play Saturday night at 7 p.m. in the state championship game. So I'm just going to say good luck to DeForest. Great fans. Their fans were super nice. They came up to me after the game and thanked me. I guess some of their players' names are harder to pronounce than others.
Errol. It's
You're better than I when it comes to that.
ERROL or something?
Errol.
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 Okay.
You'd have said it. Star Prairie, you'd pronounce it Earl.
Earl.
Also, we should make mention the Hudson is 20-2. Now, they won on Saturday night in their sectional final. They won 2-2, and then in parentheses it says 5-4 because they won in penalty kicks.
PKs,
Oh, yeah. What a game.
So
I saw that.
So I do believe now that Hudson has outscored their opponents 94, I think it is, to 5, if the stats I'm seeing are correct, 94-5 on the season. And they are 20-2, and that earned them the 3rd seed in the Division 1 tournament.
That's how tough, salty
the Division 1.
that Division 1 is.
Well, I mean, you've got, so in Division 1, the first semifinal on Thursday is Brookfield East 15-4 against number 4 Madison West 15-1-1. And then the other game will be number 2 Marquette. Marquette's been a soccer legendary program forever. They're 11-5-3. They're number 2, and they're playing Hudson 20-2. And
Well, let's go. We're pulling for the Raiders.
well, guess what else we have to do? Those nasty neighbors of ours from the
Somerset.
west.
Oh, yeah.
In Division 3 at 11 a.m. on Friday morning, the number 1 seeded Catholic Memorial, whatever they are, at 15-1-3 on the season, will play the 4th seed, the Somerset Spartans.
Yeah.
22-1. That's 20, then the number 2, and then 1. Just so you know, one of those 2 is to Richmond.
We should.
Yeah, we should. But anyways, so my kind of quick recap without getting into it too deep. another strong season for the Richmond Tiger boys soccer. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
Once again, the season ends in the sectional finals. I'll take that. You know, obviously, I'd like to see them punch through and get to state again. But boy, I'll tell you what, the difference in the team that they put on the pitch on Saturday compared to that first Tuesday night when we watched them there, Moose, unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. So hats off to the Richmond Tigers. Some great senior leadership. We got some great scoring juniors coming back.
I'm going to say it. They're going to be a strong team next year with Bergdahl, Bostow coming back. I mean, you got some juniors that are
awesome.
And defensively, you're going to have the Hamdorf kid that played a bunch. You're going to have Christian Demlin coming back. The cupboards aren't bare for Richmond boys soccer at all. So
again, the old next man up.
Oh yeah.
You know, you don't. You don't. I don't want. What's what I'm looking for? You don't want to replace them. You're just filling them in again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
the cupboards aren't bare.
It's in great shape.
You mean the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror going forward?
Let's go, babe.
There's a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's a reason for that.
I have a nice little talk. Just another new transition.
Love it.
Now that we recap soccer, a little bit of ag talk, everybody.
Ooh.
It's just kind of as fall sports wind down, so does the fall harvest. There's still some combines rolling out there. A lot of my clients are slowly getting done here and there. So some good all over the, I would say, all over the board reports this year.
Is this like the happy, fun music you listen to when you're combining, guys?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, you gotta do something, man. It's the same, you know.
I'm doing I'm just picking some royalty free music so we don't get dinged on YouTube.
No, it's perfect. I think this is great.
So, but yeah, we had I don't know, a lot of just like I say, some reports. Folks, are still some combines rolling around. Watch out. Probably some tillage pieces of equipment this time of year, which can be just as big or bigger than the combines on the road. So just be patient with them as well. There might be some mud on the road if it does rain as well. Just be careful out there.
I haven't had any egg therapy in the last 2 weeks because I've been busy up at the high school calling stuff
now
for
you're
work.
gonna have Florida therapy.
And now I need Florida therapy. But hey, you know what? Maybe next week there'll still be some land left for me to cover at the farm.
I don't know. Those guys seem pretty efficient out there. So a lot of guys are, and
you know,
rolling.
I feel like you've nailed this song. Like when I'm looking at Brinkman, I feel like this is on repeat in his head the entire time he's in the combine.
Well, I'm actually in a tractor.
He's in the tractor
normally.
Okay, in the tractor.
Trust me, they don't let me touch the combine.
He doesn't touch the wheel either. He hits a button.
Yeah, he hit a button. Yeah.
Right here.
Looks at his lunchbox and he's like, I'm 2 hours in and it's empty. Why?
And he still has that metal one
that.
from like elementary school that's got that little flap on it. That's like He-Man.
He-Man.
So what's funny?
It's probably got a little rust on it. He's duct taped the handle on it.
He's got the plastic thermos that goes with it that sits right in there.
Yeah.
So what's funny though is that I do have a lunchbox that looks like what you're describing.
Yeah.
But it's got a 12-volt plug-in where you plug it into the cigarette lighter in the tractor, and then it works as an oven, so it warms your food as you
warm.
So it's not really a lunchbox; it's an actual heater, but it looks like a lunchbox. So you get. That's what I have all those aluminum tins up there for, so that I can make
God, that is
lunch.
so unbelievably close to what you used to carry around. I mean, a lunchbox that used to carry your cigarettes. It didn't have a thing. You just, anyhow.
Back in the day. Back in the day.
All right. Moving on, everybody, to the final fall sport.
No. What do you mean the Final Four sport? We have not, or fall sport.
We
have
another sport you're going to cover.
We have to talk about Kendrick Christian.
There's no doubt about it. Cross country.
Get that one.
And just for the record out there, everyone, it was Moose that forgot about Kendrick Christensen's
Kendra, I do apologize.
Performance last weekend.
They take notes and don't share them with me.
Wisconsin
I think the producer would maybe need that, but that's fine.
Wisconsin. Get here more than 3 minutes before it's. I'm just kidding. I'll shut up. Okay. Anyways, hey,
says the guy who sets everything up every week. And then the talent thinks they need to walk down.
Keep
we
going,
the talent?
Brink.
Are we the
Yes,
talent?
I know. That was a very loose term on that one.
How good. He's never said that when Scribner was
I was
here.
going to say he's never called Scribner talent.
No, never.
Oh,
And I've been here
Yeah.
for 4 years.
poor Scrib. He's got no talent.
We are on season 4, episode 17.
We'll have
Golly
to
gosh.
bring that.
Okay,
Hey,
sorry,
anyhow,
back
back to
Kendra.
the important.
Woo!
Kendra
Cross
Christensen,
country.
35th place in Division 1 at the 2025 State Cross Country Championships held last weekend in beautiful, scenic, historic Wisconsin Rapids. Congratulations to her.
Yes.
I think that's a great job.
That's unbelievable.
So,
Yes. 2 years in a row?
yeah, 2 years in a row. And she's a sophomore, so she's got 2 more chances yet, and that's awesome for her. But I did want to make sure that we took time to mention her.
Yeah.
Because
100% we should.
very, very
Thank you for
deserving.
remembering. I forgot.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so again, congratulations to Kendra on a great season and a great end of the season. And now, Moose, what can we talk about?
Oh, hey. So what do we have? We have one sport left, right? For the fall.
Now
we do.
we do.
In
Now
this
we
little
do.
fall roundup.
Yeah,
What do we have to talk about, boys?
football.
And let's talk about it.
Let's do it. So, New Richmond last Friday night hosted Oshkosh North. New Richmond came out on the short end of a 42-36 game.
Shootout.
It really
In the
was
rain.
something.
A 6'7" gunslinger.
Yeah.
He was. That's
You know what's the gunslinger?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and you guys can build on it. The pregame stats predicted the game in essence, right? Like if you looked at the stats, like how they're with their quarterback and they're rushing between our quarterback threw more, but Whittick had a game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they had a hard time stopping our rushing, and we had a hard time stopping their passing,
Yeah.
just like their stats showed.
Yeah.
Well, I think that both teams had a tough time stopping everything. I mean,
Oh,
you got to remember
yeah.
Nick Stelright, hell of a game throwing the ball, absolutely slung it. I mean, what was he? And I might screw this up. Was he 14 for 21 for 279 yards?
Yep.
And their quarterback was 17 for 21 for 289 yards.
And their running back kind of, and you talk about a guy who keeps his legs moving.
Yeah.
His legs were thick.
Yeah.
So he had a nice game too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Yeah. A heck of a match. It came down right to the end, guys.
Well, it
Scott.
did.
Sorry, his quarterbacks or the running back,
Jamari Scott.
Jamari Scott. Yep.
So, why didn't Richmond win? Well, we didn't score when we had the ball inside the 10-yard line in less than a minute left in the first half.
Yep.
And we didn't score at the end of the game. I mean, that's really what you can say. Now, if New Richmond would have scored at the end of the first half, would the second half have played out differently? Yeah, I believe so. It would. I mean, it was really trending towards that. Listen, we had an 8-3 season. I think people should be damn proud of that in this town. When I went to high school in New Richmond, we won 9 games in 4 years. Okay, so I'm just going to get that out of the way right away. People
If we don't
should-
have an 8-win season, we're like, what's going on?
Well,
yeah, exactly. But I have heard that people are like, I can't believe we lost already, and I'm going like, are you kidding me?
Well, and that's the thing, guys, right? Like we kind of started this thing off in saying, the Cedar Lake, race to the finish was our fall sports. But the thing about it is, the sad part is that it's over, right?
Yeah.
Now, the good part is the simple fact that our expectations now with Tiger Sports is such the fact that we're upset because we're losing in the playoffs. Think about what we just talked about. We talked about our volleyball team going, having the best, season we've ever had, and who knows, regional champions. I'd love for somebody to if you've listened to this, if you can dig into it, when's the last time we won regionals? I'd love to know that. Again, finish the year 26-9. You talk about the soccer team. Losing 2 rip, right, to a team that's the number 1 seed. We talk about Kendra Christensen, 35th place at state, right? And now we're talking about our 8-3 Tigers that lost in the second round of the playoffs.
To a team that was 9-1 coming from the east side of the state.
Yes, and beat the team that's still in it, by the way.
Because was it Notre Dame that they lost to?
That's who they lost to.
That's their only loss on the season, and Notre Dame is playing. Oh, I got to think about this one.
Rice
Lake
Rice Lake.
on Friday night.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And who we beat, right? We beat River Falls.
And River Falls is playing the team that we beat. So it's like, think of the intertwine of how good we expect to be. And our 2 losses this year came from 6 points.
Yep, exactly. So All great stuff, which is going to lead us to our next segment. And actually, you probably want to cover a little bit more football before we get into some of the other accolades that we can get into for the Nourishment football team.
Well, I think this Friday night, I mean, there's 8 teams left in each division, so 8 times 7, there's 50. What is it, 56 teams?
Here you are, quick, man.
I am. Bammo! I'm on it.
Good thing that Turtle Lake math wasn't here. That's all I can say.
He's good with numbers.
He just said 50 some 50 some left. But
in 11-man football, there's 56 teams left in the state. So we are down to the quarterfinals. So a couple games that I know we're going to want to keep an eye on is Oshkosh North coming back over here to this side of the state to play River Falls.
I'm going to that one.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay. Wonder why.
I might be down there.
Somebody you know live down there. Or
There's a little boy that goes to.
I thought about going to that game actually.
Notre Dame will be hosting Rice Lake over in Green Bay, so that game should be.
Why don't you go report on that one for us?
Well, I will from a televised.
Yeah,
from my place somewhere.
On my phone, yeah.
A couple other games of interest for people in our area that this one has been on the docket since week 1. People have said when these two teams meet in the playoffs, it's going to be a hell of a game, and that is Boyceville. They're going to Cochrane Fountain City. Cochrane Fountain City is 2 undefeated teams there. That should be a good one.
How did Boyceville get a 2 seed? I didn't realize that until I looked at the bracket.
Because
are they that good? The other team?
Yeah. Well, 1, Cochrane Fountain City is that good. Yes, absolutely. 2, the strength of the conference they played in. The Dunn St. Croix was down this year. There's no 2 ways around it.
Yeah, they went through that pretty easily. Good call.
A couple other games of interest here. Baldwin Woodville at La Crosse Aquinas. They're going to play that one at UW La Crosse, too, so they are going all the way down to La Crosse to play that one.
Lots of awesome games that came.
Baldwin's a 2 seed, too. So,
wow.
But Aquinas, I think Aquinas is actually the number 1 seed.
They are.
In the state, aren't they? Didn't they get the overall number 1 they're calling it?
I think so.
So that game should be very good. Baldwin's averaging 50-some yard or 50-some points a game, so that's going to be interesting how they do up against Aquinas. Northwestern is at Grantsburg,
which is crazy.
That's
really.
I believe that's 2 undefeated teams too.
Where's Northwestern out of?
So Northwestern is the school district. It's like 4 towns, and it's between Superior and Ashland. So you go from the east side of the Superior School District all the way to the west side of Ashland. It's Maple, it's something, Lake Chihuahua something, and
in between Superior and Ashland, basically.
Yeah,
Boy, what do you think their bus rides consist of?
It's horrible. And understand now they're in Division 5 now. Back in the early and mid 2000s. They played in Richmond in a lot of sports in the playoffs. Basketball, when there was 4 divisions, and Richmond played them a bunch of times. I remember them playing Baldwin and Somerset a couple times in football in the playoffs. So their enrollments went down, but they had a beautiful facility up there in Maple. Excuse me. So that should be a good game, and then. What I think is going to be the game of Western Wisconsin, I'm probably jinxing one of the teams here and making it a blowout, but Mondovi gets a rematch with Eau Claire Regis, as I call them, the University of Wisconsin at Regis. That game ended in week 6, I believe, 5 or 6. That game ended on a Hail Mary touchdown pass by Regis. Now, that game was at Carson Park. I believe this one will also be at Carson Park. So the legendary Carson Park should see another great ball game on Friday night. That's what I have for upcoming games here for people in our area.
All right. Awesome. Love it. Great weekend, Friday night of football.
Should be just unbelievably great Friday night of football.
And watch I'm excited. I'm going to try to tune into some of the state volleyball too. I mean, it's unbelievable, some of those girls that are playing. I mean,
it's a fun time of the fall.
It's just right now, right? See, the best teams, here we go.
It's kind of like, when March hits, same type of thing. Hockey, basketball, all the stuff going on.
Yeah. All right, should we do a couple accolades here before we sign off here?
We should. We also have a new segment that we want to do at the end of this too. So let's continue to talk about football because
Let's do it.
This is a pretty cool thing that came out today.
It is, and it's called the Big Rivers All Conference Team. Let's take a look at it,
And
Brinky.
football.
And football.
Actually,
yes.
football, not football. I'm just gonna go through the first team here, all conference, in both things, and then we'll talk about the Richmond kids.
Yeah.
As they were in some of the second and third teams. The quarterback is Grant Pacholke of Rice Lake. Running backs. Here's a shocker. Austin Whittick of New Richmond and Joe Tarasowitz of River Falls. Your all-conference first-team wide receivers are both from River Falls, Mason Novak and Todd Benedict. Fullback tight ends for the Big Rivers all-conference first team are Will Svensson of Rice Lake and Jack Larson of Rice Lake. Offensive line, you go Kale Gago of Rice Lake, Noah King of Chippewa Falls. The Big Hoss, Mac Reardon of New Richmond, Bryce Shepard of Menominee, and Sam Simpson of River Falls. So on the first team, all Big Rivers Conference, you had 2 New Richmond players in Austin Whittick and Mac Reardon. Your thoughts quickly, what do you think there?
Yeah, watching Austin Whittick, he's probably the most electrifying player I've seen in a long, long time come to him. I mean, he is the real deal. And then, hats off to Mac Reardon is one of those. I think of Mac as just a grinder, right? Like smart, very smart kid. It just gives you everything on the football field, and we're going to miss him. He's going to be a tough hole to fill. Just not just on the football field, but just as a leader within the locker room and what he does.
All conference second team. 2 quarterbacks actually listed, Nick Stelright and Tino Massa from River Falls. I'm going to move on. I'm going to skip some of these other ones just to talk about the New Richmond kids. Fullback tight end, number 9, always open, Carter Comroe. What a great season he had. I love that kid to death. And then lastly.
Well, what I'm going to say, though, before that is, Carter Comroe getting second team all conference. And when you look at his statistics, because a lot of times you think, they're going to look at how many catches and how many yards did he have,
touchdowns.
right? And he wasn't even near the top in that. And what I am going to say is Carter Comroe has more than the ability to be the number 1 tight end. And I think I look at him, and I definitely think that he's in George's category and could have possibly even outperformed George. Just didn't quite work out for him. But for him to get that and not have the stats behind it has to tell you that he did it all, right? Not only could he have caught the ball, but he also done a great job blocking for number 1, Austin Whittick. So it was, a lot of people say, how did they get that without the stats? It's because the rest of the folks realize how important it is. It's not just the stats behind. Because, a tight end, especially in the Richmond's offense, you're asked to do a lot of things, not just line up and catch the ball. So hats off to Comroe.
I think you just absolutely nailed it with him. Carter Comroe is one hell of an athlete when he's on that football field, and it showed with his blocking skills. And I'm going to say it this way: he reminds me of a Josh Oliver for the Vikings. They call him the best blocking tight end in the NFL because of those characteristics.
And he was open a lot.
Yeah. Also on the offensive line for Richmond in second team all conference is Mr. Matthew Fowkes. So
absolute dog. I mean, that guy, unfortunately he did get a little bit dinged up this year. But man, when he was out here, I done anything. What game would he did not play in the Rice Lake game?
Was it the Rice Lake game he was out?
I think it was the Rice Lake game because it was the game I'm like, I think that he plays this because he plays both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we win that. I honest to God, I mean,
he's in and out on defense.
It's just enough sometimes where I think he would have done a lot for us. I think we missed him in that Rice Lake game. I'm almost 100% positive that's the game he missed.
Okay, moving on now to the Big Rivers Conference all-conference football team. Let's go to defense. Defensive backs, Ben England of Hudson. Moose, you and I saw him. He is amazing. Anthony McPherson of River Falls and Will Svensson of Rice Lake. Outside linebacker, Aaron Hoffman of Rice Lake. Blake Schneider of River Falls. Inside linebacker, Liam Mayer of Hudson. Grant Pacholke of Rice Lake. And
my dog, the unguided missile, Jamison Unger, baby. Do we got that little bit of a popper up there? Do we
my
have
fault.
that?
Sorry,
Oh, that's okay. I tell you what, there's certain kids that just play, and I love to watch them out there. James Snunger's it. I mean,
There we go.
there we go. We gave him the unguided missile Scrib and Gib T-shirt there. I tell you what, that guy's just fun to watch. I know at the beginning of the year he played a different position, then they moved him inside, and it was like double-digit tackles after sacks, tackles for a loss, and when he hit you, you knew it.
Absolutely.
And I know there was a lot of coaches that knew that, and players knew that as well.
He had to lead New Richmond by a large margin.
It was.
Also, on the Big Rivers Conference all defensive team is, that was great of me to do with my screen. There we go. Number 85 in your program, number 1 in his mother's heart, Evan Fagnan from New Richmond. Austin Stelright from River Falls. Then your interior defensive lineman, Chase Johnson from Hudson and Jack Larson from River Falls. Big Rivers Conference, all-conference football team, second team. At D-back, a Keegan bomb went off.
Yep,
Keegan Langness.
Nice job, Keegan.
Way to go, Keegan. I am so happy for you. He had a tough start to the season. I don't know how else to say it, but he really matured into his role here. Starting about week, I'm going to say 3 or 4, he really came on and really was a difference maker, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but in kick and punt returns too.
Yep. And just a junior, so we're excited to get him back.
Absolutely. Your outside linebackers, Luke Pember from Menominee and Noah Zanin from New Richmond.
Stud. I mean, Xana's one of those kids, I think, that just came every single year. We have this, this talk about who's going to be that kid that just pops out of nowhere. Fagnan, I think, played a little bit last year, maybe a little bit more. Again, it's tough to remember, but I'm just saying right now that Noah Zanin became a dog out there. And it's one of those kids that I didn't know was going to play like that. I was like, there was games where he was everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You just kept mentioning his name. I mean, I'd sit on the sidelines, and I'm like, maybe I should watch this kid. You guys say his name so often. And then for interior defensive linemen for the New Richmond Tigers, junior number 34, Tanner Jess, is all Big Rivers Conference second team defense. So, what a great story he was
as
this
junior
year.
And a junior as well.
As a junior. And, he's going to be that unguided missile type next year.
Yeah, I'm
he
excited
had his
to
nose
see
in
it.
a lot of tackles. Interesting kid. Built nothing like his father because Tanner is strong and a little bit taller. His dad was short and kind of. But anyways, we'll get into that later. I might have to pay for that one this weekend. But I like that statement. But anyways, what a great season for Tanner Jess.
Yes.
He was one of those guys when you would hear Unger's name called, okay, he was also getting up from the pile.
Yeah, he was there a lot.
Tanner Jess was
Hats
a
off to
headhunter,
Jess.
so that was
Absolutely.
pretty cool. Your all-conference kicker for the Big Rivers Conference, excuse me, a dear friend of mine's son, Gavin Careful of River Falls. The punter is Colin Clary of Chippewa Falls. Specialist is Jalen Smith of Chippewa Falls. Second team kicker is Keegan Holden of Hudson. Punter, Logan Murtha from Hudson. And then specialist there is Peyton Pingle, the
also
senior.
from Hudson. So they swept the old second teamer on that one.
Now, honorable mentions. I'm just going to name the honorable mentions here quickly so we can keep this going.
Yeah.
Do we not have any honorable mentions?
No.
I guess we did not. I thought we did. Okay.
But we do have one more that's pretty big.
Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Rivers Conference. Number 1, Austin Wittick, running back, New Richmond. And the best part of that?
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah. No, we love it. It's exciting. There's going to be a lot of buzz around number 1 next year. So, man, that is hats off to Austin Wittick. Congratulations, my man.
That's so there it is. That is your 2025 Big Rivers Conference all-conference football team. We have not seen the volleyball or the soccer out yet, so as soon as we do see that, we will be sure to talk about it, hopefully, in our wrap-up show. Before we sign off, we do have a new
2 new
segment.
ones.
We have 2 new segments?
Yes, I got one. I got
you
one.
go
I got a
first
surprise
then.
one. So we have our sponsors, the NR Garage Condo Athletes of the Week. And this is something that we talked about, going out to youth athletes or youth coaches, submitting some of the youth athletes in and gives us some stats and providing us a picture. I think it's an amazing opportunity to bring a positive light to the athletes coming up to the Nourishment way. But we haven't thrown it out there, so we don't have any young kids yet. So what I think we're going to do is the NR Garage Condo Athletes of the Week. That's plural. I know you loved English class. I know that.
Yep.
But it has to go out to Alex Call and JP Fireheisen from River Falls. Graduates in 2000. They played together in 2010, 2011 in River Falls. Now both have World Series rings.
How cool is that for kids from
Both played
JP,
for him. Yep. That's crazy. Played for the Dodgers this year.
JP Fireeisen, I've met him before. Him and his parents, super nice people, unbelievable. You would not when I met him, he had actually just been traded to the Brewers, I believe, and just a super nice guy. So congratulations to them.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's what I got. What do you got, Brink?
Well, we are also going to start a new. Gibby's Lanes does such a great job sponsoring us, and they're always open for anything. We are going to start the Gibby Lanes Gutter Ball of the Week. And this week, we are going to, the very first winner of it is going to be the United States Congress. Get your asses back to work and figure this thing out, because this is ridiculous. That's what we're going to say about that. So the first ever Gibby's Lanes Gutter Ball of the Week goes to the U.S. Congress.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Well, you know what? Thanks for – it was kind of fun. I got to talk this week.
I did. I feel like that's why I had to have a cup of water here, because I felt like I was going to get, like a dry mouth, because I actually got to talk, and we did.
I did. I got a dry mouth a couple times. I apologize there for
the cough. I get it. You're not used to talking this much on a podcast. I understand that.
Unbelievable.
Moosey, what do you think back there?
Pretty good, you guys. No, I honestly was just sitting here thinking, well, you could have warned me. I probably could have gotten some logos up. So then now I'm looking at garage condos.
No, that's okay. No, that's all right. That's okay. We got it. We got plenty of time to get that in. But thank you to our new and our garage condo is definitely one of our new ones. Gibby's been with us since the beginning. But yeah. So I guess there is no scrib. So I'm Gib.
I'm Brink.
And we got Moose on the loose. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Thank you.